Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hello Word. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm thrilled to have you join me on this linguistic adventure. Today, we're diving into a word that's incredibly useful for understanding and explaining things visually: diagram. A diagram is a drawing or plan that shows how something works or the relationship between its parts. It's a visual representation, often simplified, that helps us understand complex information. Think of it as a roadmap for ideas. We use diagrams all the time, whether we realize it or not. From assembly instructions for furniture to maps showing train routes, diagrams are everywhere. They're a fantastic way to communicate information clearly and concisely. So, let's explore this word a little further. What are some words that are similar to diagram? Well, we could use the word sketch. A sketch is a rough drawing, often done quickly, but it can still serve the purpose of a diagram. For example, the architect made a quick sketch of the building's layout. Another synonym is illustration. An illustration is a picture or drawing that explains or decorates something. You might see an illustration in a textbook showing the parts of a cell. For example, the science textbook included a detailed illustration of the human heart. We can also use the word chart. A chart is a visual representation of data, often using bars, lines, or circles. It's a type of diagram that focuses on numbers and statistics. For example, the sales chart showed a significant increase in revenue this quarter. Now, let's think about words that are the opposite of diagram. What words describe a lack of visual clarity or a way of understanding that isn't visual? One antonym could be description. A description uses words to explain something, whereas a diagram uses visuals. For instance, instead of a diagram, the manual provided a lengthy description of the process. Another antonym is narration. A narration tells a story or explains something through spoken or written words. It relies on language, not images. For example, the documentary used narration to explain the events rather than relying on diagrams. We can also use abstraction as an antonym. Abstraction is a general idea or quality rather than a specific thing or event. It's the opposite of the concrete visual representation offered by a diagram. For example, the philosopher's lecture was full of abstractions, making it difficult to understand without a clarifying diagram. Now, let's see how we can use diagram in everyday life. Imagine you're putting together a piece of IKEA furniture. The instructions are full of diagrams showing you how to connect the different parts. Or, let's say you're trying to explain a complex project to a colleague. You might draw a simple diagram on a whiteboard to illustrate the workflow. Even something as simple as drawing a map to show someone how to get to your house is using a diagram. Here are a few more sentence examples. The teacher drew a diagram of the water cycle on the board. The engineer studied the diagram to understand the machine's inner workings. Can you provide a diagram showing the seating arrangement for the wedding? I need a diagram that clearly shows the steps involved in this process. He used a Venn diagram to compare and contrast the two theories. We can also use diagram in phrases like a flow diagram, which represents a sequence of actions, or a circuit diagram, which shows the connections in an electrical circuit. Understanding diagrams is a crucial skill for navigating the modern world, and being able to use the word effectively will definitely boost your English fluency. So, to recap, a diagram is a drawing or plan that explains something. Synonyms include sketch, illustration, and chart. Antonyms include description, narration, and abstraction. Diagrams are used everywhere, from instruction manuals to scientific presentations. They help us understand complex information visually. Thank you for joining me on Hello Word today. I hope you found this episode helpful. Remember to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your support helps others find our show and learn English too. And now for your challenge. Try to create your own sentence using the word diagram and share it as a comment under the video. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Until next time, happy learning!